is Jonathan Bricker, and I have the honor of serving as the chairman of the Arkansas District Export Council. By day, I'm a commercial relationship manager with Regions Bank in Northwest Arkansas, where I work closely with commercial and industrial businesses throughout our great state. Whether you're here in person or tuning in from home, and thank you again for PBS for live streaming the event for us again this year. We're grateful that you've joined us to recognize the bold, innovative spirit of Arkansas exporters. This event is not only a celebration, but it's also our largest and only fundraiser of the year. Thanks to our generous sponsors, we're able to continue to provide vital support and resources to businesses throughout Arkansas. So, to all of our sponsors, thank you, thank you, thank you. Your support fuels our mission. And I want to highlight our yearly sponsors of the Arkansas Manufacturing Solutions and Arkansas Workforce Connections. AMS has helped hundreds of Arkansas manufacturers increase sales and profits by cutting costs and improving manufacturing processes. They provide customized technical and management assistance that will improve the quality, productivity, and global competitiveness of your business. In Arkansas Workforce Connections, they sit at the center of the state's workforce development efforts. The agency's mission is to provide support and guidance to help individuals succeed in their careers while offering companies incentives to maintain a skilled and technically trained workforce. I'm extremely appreciative of the partnership that we have created, and I've really enjoyed working alongside you both. And I'd like to extend a special welcome to several distinguished leaders joining us today who play a vital role in shaping the future of Arkansas. Secretary Lindsay Wallace, Arkansas Department of Corrections. Secretary Jacob Olivia, I don't see him. Secretary Shane Corey, Arkansas Department of Energy and Environment. Secretary Janet Mann, Arkansas Department of Human Services. Secretary Allison Bragg, Arkansas Department of Inspector General. Secretary Darrell Bissett, Arkansas Department of Labor and Licensing. Colonel Robert Ator, Arkansas Department of Veteran Affairs. Colonel Mike Hagar, Arkansas Department of Public Safety. Come on, there we go. Secretary Leslie Fiskin, Department of Shared Administrative Services. Kelsey Pagel-Saunier, Coordinator of Government Affairs, Department of Education. Alan McVeigh, Chief of Staff and Deputy Director of Arkansas Department of Finance Authority, and Rachel Smith, Policy Advisor to Governor Sanders. Each of you holds a position that directly impacts the lives of Arkansans and the businesses they own or work for. Thank you for your service, and thank you for being here today. Now, for those of you who may have been randomly invited by a colleague, or you're just really craving some chicken caponata, let me quickly share who we are and why all this matters. The Arkansas District Export Council is a private, nonprofit organization made up of seasoned exporters and business leaders. We're here to help companies navigate the world of international trade, whether they're seasoned pros or Main Street manufacturers. And here's a stat that always gets people's attention. 94% of the world's consumers live outside the United States. That is a massive opportunity, and we're here to help Arkansas businesses seize it. Each member of the DEC has been appointed by the U.S. Secretary of Commerce for their real-world expertise in global trade, and we proudly serve as a bridge between these local companies and national resources like the U.S. Commercial Service and the Arkansas World Trade Center. And let me just say, if you're in this room, you're either really good at making things, you're really good at selling things, or you're really good at convincing other people to do both. That's economic development in a nutshell, right, Clint? As chairman of the DEC, I get to witness the incredible ways Arkansas businesses are punching above their weight on the global stage. And today, we're here to recognize the best of the best, the people who've turned local ingenuity into international impact. When people think of Arkansas, they probably think of our scenic views, our southern hospitality, or some really good fried pies. But what they should be picturing is innovation, craftsmanship, and a whole lot of hustle. From aerospace components to world-class poultry, from timber to tech, Arkansas-made products are crossing borders and building bridges. It's about the small business in Jonesboro shipping to Brazil. It's about a manufacturer in Fayetteville solving problems in South America. It's about proving that quality doesn't have to come from a big city. It just needs vision, grit, and a good logistics partner. Now, exporting isn't always glamorous. Trust me, I've tried to make speeches about exporting somewhat exciting for the last 4 years now. Exporting also means that we're navigating customs forms, harmonized codes, and the occasional reality check on international shipping rates. But our award winners today have not only survived that maze, they've thrived in it. They've turned Arkansas pride into global performance. So, to our honorees, congratulations. You've shown that Made in Arkansas isn't just a label, it's a promise of excellence, of reliability, and a state that knows how to build for the world. And I'll leave you all with what ChatGPT told me is my new favorite quote. It comes from Mark Twain. 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do instead of the ones that you did. So sail away from safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. Thank you. All right, now we'll get the show on the road by introducing our platinum sponsors. We'll start with Verco. Oh, hold on. I think I have to do this. Oh, welcome, everyone. Okay, I did that part too. Verco. See, I told you I'd mess it up. All right, Verco won the Resilience in Manufacturing Award in 2022 as America's leading manufacturer and supplier of classroom furniture and equipment. Verco's products have proudly served the education community for over 75 years. Their Conway, Arkansas location has approximately 1.75 million square feet of operational space for manufacturing and distribution. They not only have extremely impressive facilities, but they do so much for their local community. So I'd like to introduce everyone to Steve Presley. Steve is the Vice President and General Manager of Verco Manufacturing. He oversees the 3 factories operations in Conway, as well as the factory in Torrance, California. He's a 37-year career at Verco, which has earned him recognition for his skills in manufacturing, supply chain, strategic planning, logistics, and more. Steve?
Thank you, Jonathan. You made it sound a lot better than what I am. Isn't it a great day to be in the state of Arkansas? Looking around the room today, it's a real blessing just to look at all the fellow businesses that are here today. And as Jonathan said, I'm Steve Presley. I'm Vice President General Manager of Verco Manufacturing. Been with the company for 37 years, and Verco's super proud to be a platinum sponsor for the event again this year. And I'm not a speaker, so I apologize, but I would like to recognize my Verco family that came to support us today. When I look around that table earlier, we were just chatting, I was sitting there adding up, and there's about 275 years of experience sitting around that table. So it's a compliment to Verco and to everybody that I get to work with every day. Tell you a little bit about Verco if you don't know who Verco is. We are a manufacturer mainly of K through 12 school furniture. If you take a school and turn it upside down, everything that falls out is what we do. It's the best way to explain it. Not only the educational school furniture market, but office, hospitality, convention centers, basically any type of furniture is what we do. Obviously today is around exports. We export to over 75 foreign countries as well. And on the 75 note, we were celebrating our 75th anniversary in business, so we're very proud of that. We were founded by the Virtue family that still, while we're a small publicly held company, we are still controlled by the Virtue family out in California that founded the company 75 years ago. Our corporate headquarters is in California, in Torrance, California. We've got a factory and warehouse distribution center out there, but really the hub of the company is in Conway. As Jonathan said, we've got 3 factories in Conway, about 1.75 million square feet of manufacturing distribution space. But we've got the best employees in the world. We've invested in all kinds of automation, robotics, things like that as a manufacturer that you've got to do to try to be competitive. But at the end of the day, our number one resource is our people, our employees. There's not a person at Verco that does the same thing every day, and they embrace that. So proud to be a part of that team. When we really look at what we're doing in Arkansas, I've got to thank everyone that Jonathan listed from the state that's here today. It's great to be working in a state that has got a government that is pro-business. A lot of states can't say that because, like I said, we're headquartered in California. Try to do business out there. It's a whole different ball game than what we're dealing with here, y'all. So be thankful. But for everyone with the state, can't thank you enough because we are in a state that is pro-business, and it really makes it much easier to be proactive and try to do things. I'd also like to recognize our panel today, Roby Brock. Thank you for being here. He's with Talk Business, Arkansas Talk Business. Clint, Executive Director of the Arkansas Economic Development Commission, and Randy Zook, the State President of the State Chamber of Commerce. Thank you guys for being here. These guys have got a wealth of knowledge. I look forward to hearing everything that you guys have to say. I'd like to recognize the fellow board members of the deck. This is an honor to serve with all of you. This is not we all volunteer our time, but there are some people in this room that are passionate about their businesses, that we get to network. I've learned so much from you board members, so thank you for helping make this day possible. For all of our sponsors that have donated their time, their money, their funds, thank you for being here as well. And then lastly, we've got a really good group of award winners we're going to recognize in a few minutes. Some neat stories. Today it's not always easy. Randy Zook and I were speaking earlier about the whole tariff situation and things like that, and it impacts business. Some of it's positive, some of it's not. It's not easy to necessarily be an exporter these days. Our business has taken a toll from it, not in a positive manner, but we're going to recognize some businesses later that have overcome some of the hurdles and have really excelled with their exports. So we look forward to sharing that with you. So on behalf of Verco, we thank you for being here. When you leave today, we've got a little gift bag. Everybody pick up a gift bag on their way out, and thank you for attending.
Thank you for that, Steve. Oh, you're so much taller. Okay, there we go. Thank you for that, Steve, and we really appreciate yours and Verco's continued support. So next, I would like to recognize and welcome to the stage Mr. Rudy Ortiz. Rudy is the chair of the Education Committee for the DEC, and he is responsible for all of the webinars that we put on throughout the year. He is the owner of Strategic Business Services, where he is an advisor to companies with a wide variety of international and exporting services. He's very well versed and experienced in every aspect of exporting and helping companies grow their bottom line. Rudy, thank you so much for being a platinum sponsor.
Thank you, Jonathan. Looks like I missed my cue tonight. So I don't know if who's running the slide deck. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's just some information about myself. I've been doing a business consulting. Thank you. Business consulting for about 28 years, and about 25 of those have been in the international arena. And just like all my other DEC members here, you know, each one of them has some area of expertise or areas of expertise in the international arena. And, you know, I've taught international business and been very privileged to work with a great number of companies and been able to help a number of them get the award, this award for global excellence in trade. I have about six clients over the years that have gone on to win the award. There's kind of two halves to my consultancy. One is working with domestic companies in a wide area of business, focusing on becoming more profitable. But the majority of what I do is helping companies to enter new markets. I'm part of a global consortium of market entry consultants. We're in 33 countries at this time. And as a consequence of that, I think some of the comments that I'm going to make I have a reason to believe the things that I'm going to say, and that is that despite the challenges that we have currently in the United States, there are significantly more opportunities than there are challenges. Because I do business in 32 different countries, I get to see, what those companies are needing, what they're wanting, and more importantly, the attitude and respect that they still have for the United States. One would think that nobody wants to do business with us, but just exactly the opposite is true. Despite the challenges, everyone wants to do business with the United States. There are a great number of countries that continue to want to do business with us. And here's just kind of a very short list of the countries that you can start doing business with today. The tariffs, of course, have had some impact, but the reality, I was looking through a list, I guess it was the day before yesterday, and there are 60, 70 countries where the tariffs that we've applied to their products are in the 10, maybe 15% range. Okay, so products coming in, and the same is true going out. Our exporting to those countries, in many cases, their tariffs are very low for the United States products. Okay, and we of course have trade agreements with about 21 countries. These are some of them. So there is lots of opportunities to do exporting. You probably know that the only way that a country can create wealth is to bring it from somewhere else. That is how wealth is created. Okay? And so that's the reason that the United States government and the state of Arkansas is so interested in helping Arkansas companies to export, to bring wealth to Arkansas. Okay, so we are here, the District Export Council is here to help you in any way that we can. I have been facilitating webinar classes now for 5 years or so, trying to train people about the next markets that they ought to be looking at and some of the constraints and some of the considerations that they need to think about when they're looking at different countries, and trying to make it as smooth as possible for them to export. So ladies and gentlemen, what I want to leave with you is that the world is in fact our oyster, that 94% of the population that is outside of the United States is there for you to market to and to make yourself more wealthy and to make the state of Arkansas more wealthy. And with that, I will let you get to your lunch now. But if I can be of service to you in any way, whether it's through the District Export Council or through my consulting services with my 33 partners, I'm happy to do that. Thank you much.
Okay, so, wrong way. There we go. So today we're very fortunate to have with us not one, but two leaders in the state of Arkansas that are focused on not only helping our established companies in the state, but also helping to lure new businesses here. We get the pleasure of a Q&A session with Executive Director of the AEDC, Mr. Clint O'Neill, alongside the President and CEO of the Arkansas State Chamber, Mr. Randy Zook. When we came up with the idea of this format, we knew we needed one of the best moderators in the business, and there's no one better than Roby Brock. As most of you know, Roby is the CEO of Talk Business and Politics, which is a multimedia news organization reporting on business and politics in Arkansas. You can catch Talk Business and Politics on Sunday mornings at 9:30 on Fox 16 in Little Rock, Fox 24 in Northwest Arkansas, and you can keep up with his daily reporting at talkbusiness.net. Roby, gentlemen, thank you all for agreeing to host the Q&A today.
thanks for having us here. I'll get this going while we are waiting for our microphones to show up here. So, oh, look at that. There you go. Big one. Here you go. I'll stand up here. You didn't tell us how long we could go, Jonathan, so we're just going to go for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then we'll
The SBA guy won't show up because he's not getting paid, so we've got an extra 15 or 20 minutes.
I was commenting to Clint over here when they were rattling off the list of all of the cabinet secretaries that are here today. We were wondering who the designated survivor is. Did you guys leave one back somewhere in case there's an event or something like that? Hugh McDonald's not here today, so we'll let Hugh be the designated survivor there. All right, gentlemen, I'm going to stay up here so that you guys can remain comfortable. I might be able to move this back a little bit so people can see you on the other side of the room. Hopefully I don't break anything. It's good. Randy, I want to come to you first because you guys are fresh out of the field with a survey of a lot of your membership, and none of this has been reported yet, so I'm hoping you'll give us a little sneak preview of some takeaways of the survey that you did. Tell everybody a little bit about who you surveyed, what you asked them, and then if you would give us a few top line answers to what the business climate in Arkansas is right now.
Thank you, thank you, Roby. Yeah, we're updating our state business plan, if you want to call it that. It's kind of a definition of what opportunities are in front of the state as a whole in total, and what challenges are there. We just completed the survey part of the process. We'll now move into the consideration and discussion phase. But the results are really interesting. I had expected more angst around, we survey all of our members across the state, manufacturers, service companies, financial services, the full gamut of business interests. I had expected more angst around tariffs than showed up in the results, but I was again surprised, but pleased, frankly, that the number one challenge and the number one expression of need from business managers and owners across the state still centers around workforce. People are frustrated with their ability to attract and hold people who are capable of and willing to do the work that's available. We've got literally thousands of job openings across the state. And I know the pressure has somewhat lessened over the last 2 or 3 years, but the pressure is still there, and there's an expression of desire for much more investment by the state and the education system into technical education offerings. We're not producing enough people skilled in the capabilities that are needed to do the jobs in our businesses today. And that's everything from manufacturing to service to financial to IT to you name it, doesn't matter. And the biggest, most sensitive pain point is what some people term soft skills. I call them durable skills, just getting along with people, showing up and acting interested even if you aren't. That's the kind of thing we need from young people, and it frankly is not coming through. There's a lot more attention on the K-12 system, but I think after the post-secondary needs equal emphasis and equal attention. So, long answer, I know.
No. Interesting stuff there. All right, Clint, you heard Steve talk about how tough it is to do business in California. Are we still relocating corporate headquarters to Arkansas? Is that still something that we're pretty much in favor of?
Yeah, we're all in favor of that.
Did you hear that, Steve? Can you set up a meeting maybe between the...
I think we could find a spot in Conway for Verco's corporate headquarters, right?
All right. You guys were here when the deal got brokered. All right. We made a little news today.
What's your fee, Roby?
I don't charge a finder's fee. I just do this as a public service, Randy. I do this as a public service. So, My fee is the reward that I get from seeing jobs created in Arkansas. Clint, you have been traveling the globe in the last couple of years, and particularly in the last 12 months or so. I'm just going to rattle off a few places that either you or the governor or Hugh McDonald's been, Hugh, the Secretary of Commerce, our designated survivor. France, Switzerland, Israel, United Arab Emirates, Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Mexico. I think that's the list that you provided me of some travels. What's it been like traveling abroad? What's the reception that you get from people? And is it different in different places?
Yeah, thanks, Roby. I've had the opportunity to go on all these trips this year, France, Switzerland, and Israel, UAE with the governor, and then the Asia trip. Secretary McDonald and I accommodated the governor to those trips, and then we went on a separate trip on our own to Asia, and then I went by myself to Mexico City last week. It's different everywhere. There are some of these countries that have several companies that already do business in Arkansas. For those, they know Arkansas. They know Arkansas to be a favorable place to do business. It's such an incredible experience to travel with Governor Sanders internationally. She's internationally recognized. She opens doors, has this star power like no other governor I've ever seen. So going into a C-suite of whether it's a Korean conglomerate or a global headquarters of a company in Switzerland or anywhere, it opens doors that allows us to tell our story of companies like the ones that are represented in the room today and what great work they are doing. We set the platform in economic development with great policy, with great customer service, infrastructure decisions, just creating a pathway for companies to be successful. And it's really been encouraging the last few years to see that take off. We talk about these statistics around the state, how in the Sanders administration, taxes have been cut by 20% in the last 2.5 years, how we've seen record GDP growth, low cost of doing business, nationally recognized as a place to move to in our inbound mover statistics, the great outdoor amenities, the balance of work and life, and companies and their peers who are finding success around the state. So there's certainly challenges that get mentioned, international and geopolitical issues that get mentioned, but overall, Arkansas is recognized as a place that's favorable to do business. I was speaking on a panel last week in Mexico City when a guy pointed out that you cannot accept a fee from a neighbor if you walk their dog in California unless you have a permit. And, we don't do things like that around here. That's why Burco's going to move its corporate headquarters.
Yeah. By the way, do you have a dog, Steve? Because if it needs walking, Clint's offering there. So, all right. Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. There have been some activity at the state legislature this last legislative session that both of you were deeply involved with. Randy, I'm going to come to you first on this. Tell this room what you think how the table was set for more business investment in Arkansas from not only Arkansas companies, but for companies to come here and invest.
Good point. I think there are two issues that we consider the defining business-related issues. One was the change in the way the PSC puts in place or allows rate changes by utilities to finance investments as they're being built, rather than waiting until a project is completed. And
you're talking about power and energy.
Yeah, power and energy, and having tied up capital throughout the period of construction and the interest costs that are attendant to that. So it allows, it's called CWIP, construction work in process, so that a plant, a new electricity generating plant, can be financed as it's being built. So this is going to make it a lot faster to get added capacity put in place. There are adequate protections to prevent abuse by any utility, which is unlikely, but potential, I guess. And then the other one is the referral of what we're calling, what now is issue 3, that will be on the general election ballot a year from November. There's a campaign underway to get it passed. This will allow for the creation of economic development districts within cities and/or counties for specific purposes other than just industrial manufacturing plants. It'll allow us to, a community to choose what investments are appropriate for that community, and then provides a methodology to finance those investments. So those have tremendous long-term potential. Now, there were a lot of other ankle-biter kind of issues and bills, but on balance, it was a very constructive session, and those two in particular are of interest to business people and for prospective investments.
Clint, I'll let you field the same question too. What do you think came out of the session that has helped you with your toolbox of tools that you need?
Yeah, there were around 10 pieces of legislation that were part of Arkansas Impact, the Department of Commerce's economic development package. I'll point out 3 of them. So there was the Arkansas Site Development Program, $50 million allocated from the Arkansas legislature over the next 2 years to help us make industrial sites more attractive when prospects come to visit. That's huge. 2023 was a first of its kind program with $10 million. Kick that off, and now they have $50 million for site development. It's a competitive world out there. Our neighboring states have done similar things, but we really have to elevate our game in site preparation, and so was really proud to see that. The data center legislation was passed in 2023 and then amended in this past session. That has opened up the door for data center projects, which we could get into, whether or not we want a whole lot of data centers in the state of Arkansas. You know, a little controversial, but for ones like Google that announced in West Memphis 2 weeks ago, in a very responsible manner, working to make sure that there's not putting any burden on existing utility ratepayers, but working with a responsible company that's coming in, rolling out some education programs that are free for Arkansans, announcing $4 billion investment on a campus that could end up being a lot more. That's impactful for a community like West Memphis. Certainly proud to have them. Wouldn't have happened without legislation in these past 2 sessions. And then the last one I'll mention that I think will make a difference for existing Arkansas companies is the modernization and automation incentive. We used to have a program called InvestArc that got taken off the table in 2007, and we recognize that we have to find a way to encourage investment in Arkansas. If there's a company that has a multi-state footprint around the country and they're looking at investing in one of their facilities, they may not close the other facilities that same year, but if they stop investing in Arkansas facilities, they may not be there 5, 10, 15 years down the road. So we want to encourage that investment. $25 million plus investment can receive up to 5%. Tax credits can be applied to either income tax or sales tax. So this is one that just went on the books October 1st and had a lot of interest around the state, and certainly I think it's a program that's going to make a difference.
All right, I want to get both of y'all to give me your take on this, and Clint, I'll probably pitch it to you first. The governor announced recently kind of a deal with Taiwan for our farmers in the state of Arkansas. I'm not 100% clear on how all that will work, and I don't think it's just Arkansas specific, but Arkansas was a bit of the driver on that. Tell me how that's going to play out and be impactful for Arkansas from an export perspective, and then Randy, I want you to chime in on that too.
Yeah, so Secretary McDonald and myself, as well as Cam Napier, our International Business Development Manager, we were on this trip to Asia. And so we go to Taiwan, and while we were in Taiwan, this deal is signed in Arkansas. Now, it had nothing to do with us. It was big thanks to the Arkansas Department of Agriculture and those that worked on it. But, you know, being in Taiwan while this major export deal was signed, you know, we got a lot of congratulations, and so, you know, we accepted credit for that.
That's good, good. So.
But no, I think, you know, agriculture is an industry that's had so many challenges this year. You know, we have to do all we can to help farmers in Arkansas, and it's not an area that we're directly involved with at AEDC or Commerce, but from an export perspective, from a broad perspective of the economy, It's so important. It's our largest industry, and we've got to keep working to open up new markets, whether it's rice or soybeans or a number of agricultural products for us to get out the door. But it's very encouraging to see that news.
Randy?
I don't know that I could add much to that at all, other than to underscore the level of pain in primarily eastern Arkansas and the production ag
Do you
region.
think that we need more deals like that, though?
Oh,
How can the state control that, I guess?
We need every deal we can find for anybody that'll take 100 bushels or more of soybeans or rice or corn. We've got an overproduction problem with that. It's the result of the incredible level of productivity of our farm sector. I mean, we've invested in equipment and equipped ourselves to produce a whole lot more than we will consume. So we've got to ship a lot of these crops, the big four particularly, cotton, soybeans, rice, and corn. We've got to ship a lot of that stuff overseas, or we can't consume all of it. Either that or we're going to have to reduce the amount of what we produce. So, yes, we need every deal like that we can find. We need to be able to restore normal levels of trade with China. They went from buying 25% of the U.S. soybean crop last year to zero. Today, we've had zero shipments to China. You can't take 25% of the market away from any commodity without a disastrous impact on price, and that's exactly what we've got. If you can't produce your way out of that kind of problem. So we've got to find markets and places to ship our products and add value. I wish we had a crush plant in Arkansas for soybeans, because we're a pure commodity producer of soybeans, and we could be generating a lot more, or adding a lot more value to that crop with a crush plant to extract the oils, and then you're left with the meal for animal feed. So there's an opportunity there for somebody. And
I'm going to talk to the head of the state chamber and the head of the Economic Development Commission about that idea. That's a good idea.
well,
there,
one of them's ready to talk.
Okay.
I know Clint will be.
All right, last question for both of you. You got a room full of exporters here. Just advice for how to weather the storm that we're in right now. We're going to be celebrating a lot of successes here today too. Kind of what would be your advice, Randy, on what you would share with this audience that you have captive right now?
I don't have enough experience in export sales to really be any kind of expert, but I think basic principles certainly apply. Be nimble and look for every opportunity to realign supply chains to more friendly climes maybe, but that's it. You know, the tariff thing, if you're protected, you love it. If you're paying it, you're not very happy. So there's just an uneven distribution of the pain from what we're doing, and it's created a level of uncertainty that I think is constraining economic activity at this point. People are sitting on their hands, waiting to see the dust settle and see what the landscape really looks like before they commit to capital investments and some of this reshoring that we're hopeful will happen. So scramble, that's all I can say. It's challenging to say the least.
Clint?
Yeah, you know, my advice is to tap into all the resources you have available here at the state of Arkansas. At the Arkansas Economic Development Commission, we pride ourselves in partnering with these great organizations like the District Export Council, the Arkansas World Trade Center, the U.S. Commercial Service here in town. And so if you're not plugged in to these organizations, would encourage you to find any of us, find anybody that you do know, because there may be services and resources through one of these that you're not tapping into otherwise. Exporting around the world is great, but I would say let's recognize that when it comes to exporting, exporting out of the country, our largest trading partners are Mexico and Canada, and so we're thinking nearby. We're thinking, how do we maximize those relationships with our partners within USMCA and then around the world. But a lot of great people around here ready to help.
All right. That was the fastest 1 hour conversation you guys have probably ever been a part of, isn't it? Yep. Clint O'Neill and Randy Zook, thank you for your insights and your thoughts. Let's give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
And they even picked up after themselves. Thanks. So that was fantastic. Clint, Randy, congratulations on all the success. And on behalf of the citizens and companies in Arkansas, thank you so much for all your hard work. Now, let's hand out some awards. Yes. The Governor's Award for Excellence in Global Trade recognizes the exporting excellence and success among Arkansas's unique enterprises. The winners of the award are anything from Arkansas agriculture, manufacturing, aerospace, and service providers that are actively engaged in international markets. I'm going to ask for a little help with handing out these awards. I'm going to ask Keith Gamble to the stage. Keith is the director of Arkansas Manufacturing Solutions. He's a lifelong native of Arkansas and a 20-plus year veteran of the industry. Prior to joining AMS, Keith spent 5 years in the wood industry and the balance of his career in plastics, processing, and packaging. He's experienced in leading operational turnarounds. During his tenure as an operation manager with a local manufacturer, he led an underperforming division from worst to first in 18 months, resulting in a $1.5 million swing in profitability for the division. He's a two-time graduate of Arkansas State University and holds Bachelor of Science degrees in Leadership Management and Industrial Technology. He also has a laundry list of certifications that would take just way too long to go into, so I'm not going to. Anyway, Keith, thank you.
So ahead of this event, Jonathan called me. He said, Keith, we have a pretty important part here. The awards are kind of the main thing, and we need a strong presenter. And I said, well, Jonathan, thank you. And he said, and since Richard Duda is not available, I'm calling you. My training program for this segment was, as many of us today, extensive. He pulled me to the side and he said, if you screw up, you're fired. That's your training program, now get to work. So today, we recognize the exporting excellence among Arkansas's diverse companies. The Governor's Award for Excellence in Global Trade originated in 2009 by joint efforts of the Arkansas District Export Council, Arkansas Economic Development Commission, U.S. Commercial Services, and the Arkansas World Trade Center. The awards have been given annually except for the pandemic year of 2020. We will present today's winners with a trophy and a certificate and promote them throughout the year in deck newsletters and social media posts. They will also receive a free promotional video of their company, which you'll see here in a few minutes. Winners of this award are also encouraged to go on to apply for the President's E-Award, the nation's highest honor given to exporters and export service providers. Several past Governor's Award winners have gone on to win at the national level, including Power Technology of Alexander, Keith Smith Company of Hot Springs, and Amfuel of Magnolia. So let's give out some awards. First is the Rising Star in Exporting, and that's Push Plastic out of Washington County. Push Plastic manufactures premium 3D printing filament, proudly serving the additive manufacturing community since its founding. Headquartered in Springdale, Arkansas, the company has built its reputation on precision, consistency, and a commitment to innovation. Push Plastic is expanding their workforce to keep pace with increasing demand for high-quality 3D printing. They primarily export to Canada, Mexico, Australia, and Saudi Arabia.
Push Plastic was started in 2013. The need for a U.S.-made filament was what drove us to start exporting. And what we have to make here could be in a jet next week, or it could be in a school helping a kid learn. Adhering to those really tight tolerances is what helps us set our product apart from the competition. Push Plastic is one of a handful of companies doing this in the country. Being a kid that grew up in Arkansas, I think it's really cool to say that Arkansas is one of the leading producers for 3D printer filament, not only in the U.S., but probably in the world. Our biggest competition is the foreign market. So right now we're doing in between 10 to 15% of everything we produce gets sold globally. Being able to grow into a brand that's recognized, overseas and internationally will be really cool in the future. I'd like to thank our team here at Push Plastic. These guys work really hard to put out really good products every day and keep up with the amount of workload we put on them. I'd like to give a thanks to the U.S. Commercial Service and the Arkansas District Export Council for putting us up for this award. I really see a future with them where we can grow this relationship and try to, push us to the next level.
And Congressman Womack was kind enough to send a letter of congratulations in there as well.
Congratulations to Push Plastic, Seth. Next is the Innovation and Impact in Manufacturing Award. This goes to FX3D in Benton County. FX3D, a subsidiary of Mundotech, is a cutting-edge engineering company specializing in the design and production of modular 3D printed inspection and assembly fixtures for high-precision industries such as aerospace, automotive, defense, and advanced manufacturing. Their patented technology delivers lightweight, highly accurate tools that streamline dimensional inspection, welding, and production validation. FX3D's international success has directly benefited Arkansas, creating high-skilled jobs, attracting investment, and reinforcing the state's reputation as a hub for advanced manufacturing innovation. The company's headquarters in Rogers has seen a 40% increase in engineering hires in the last 3 years, and they export to Germany, Japan, and several other companies.
My father was a naval engineer. He ran into a need for a tube in a company that he was currently at, and he told the company that he could build a tube in his garage. That's how Mundotech was born. One of his mottos was God first, family second, and work third. But when you're at work, you work like hell.
We're an ideas place. We're not just manufacturers. In order to validate parts, you either have to have maybe a 3D scan or a CMM inspection report to validate that it's good. We found an in-house solution that fit our needs. We were able to engineer it in-house, print it in-house, assemble, and take it to the shop floor. And I think this is really where FX3D has taken that turn, where we will be able to not only offer the ability to build and make your fixture and send it to you, but we will be able to also offer you a quote-unquote digital warehouse of all your parts that can be printed on demand.
We'd definitely like to thank our parents, George and Teresita Harbaugh, for allowing us to be a second-generation Arkansas manufacturing company. We'd like to thank our great governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and we'd like to thank the Arkansas District Export Council for all the great work that they've done for us and for giving us this opportunity to highlight our company.
Congratulations to FX3D. Next is the International Impact in Education Award. This goes to the University of Central Arkansas Center for Global Learning and Engagement in Faulkner County. Founded in 1907, the University of Central Arkansas is committed to excellence through the delivery of 94 undergraduate certificate and degree programs, 10 graduate certificates, 31 master's degree programs, 11 postmaster's programs, and 6 doctoral programs. A comprehensive regional university with 10,000 students and Division I athletics. Each year, UCA welcomes 350 international students each fall for a wide variety of majors. They have recently hired their first ever international student recruitment specialist. Their students come from 70 different countries, including Cote d'Ivoire, Japan, Ghana, China, the Bahamas, Nigeria, Nepal, France, Canada, Niger, Vietnam, South Korea, and India.
The Center for Global Learning and Engagement actually is charged with all the services required to recruit, admit, and support international students from all over the world on campus, and also to support U.S. domestic students, Arkansans, in study abroad programming around the world at any number of our partner universities. We wanted to focus on something called global learning, which, to paraphrase a good definition, is the idea that people from all over the world, they collaborate to solve the biggest problems. So if you want to help with climate change, if you want to help with ending war and famine, you need to have more than one group from one country working together. And so the idea of global learning is that teaching students to collaborate, to not be afraid of cultural differences, but to embrace them. The core value is building bridges. And to do that, you need to take a few risks and support young people in taking risks. Because some people haven't arrived on campus, first generation college student, haven't really gotten out of Arkansas, much less the United States. If you don't engage with your adversaries abroad or your friends abroad, you don't earn anything. There's nothing gained from building an igloo and hiding in it or being afraid to cross a border. I'd love to thank the Arkansas District Expert Council and Richard Duda of the U.S. Commercial Service, President Houston Davis, who's traveled abroad with me several times, and my provost, Michael Hargis, is a strong supporter of our mission. The people I work with in this office are fantastic. All of them work to support our students. Thank you to the staff of the Center for Global Learning and Engagement and to all the people at UCA who support our mission.
Last but certainly not least, the exponential growth, did I hear applause for the last award here? Exponential growth in manufacturing, a subject near and dear to my heart, and I'm pleased to see that the recipient is Life Plus International out of Independence County. I see Scott is somewhere in the room here, and we certainly appreciate them, and they've been on function as an advisory role on our board and been a good friend to our program as well. So pleased to see Life Plus as that recipient. Life Plus is a manufacturer and international distributor of a broad variety of high-quality supplements, vitamins, and other related healthcare products. They have also established a pet supplement division in the past year, have purchased a pet supplement company in Vermont, and relocated it to their Batesville manufacturing campus. They recently completed phases 1 and 2 of a 4-year expansion project, adding a new facility, a new manufacturing facility, a new office space. I've toured it. It's phenomenal. They're doing a great job there, which will allow them to add 150 new employees in the next 3 years. They export to all European countries, especially Germany, Switzerland, and the UK, as well as Japan, New Zealand, Mexico, and Canada.
We started Life Plus in 1992. Our company designs, manufactures, and distributes high-end, high-quality nutritional supplements. Started selling in the United States, had some initial success, and eventually in 1998 went to Europe. About 90% of our sales are exported. We continue to grow the markets in Western Europe. We're actually now moving into Eastern Europe. I visited the Czech Republic about a year ago. We're kind of getting going in Poland, but we're also looking to Asia as well. We're about to launch our Japanese Asian operation. We're also in process for Taiwan, Thailand, and India. I like to create opportunity, and we've done that with tens of thousands of independent salespeople around the world, and also we have over 600 people that we employ here and in Europe, so creating opportunities, helping people to achieve their goals is fun. And then the thing that drives me personally is, a lot of people have said over the years that these are the first products of this kind where I ever felt a difference. So continuing to kind of offer more and more people around the world incredible products. I would like to thank my partners, my family for putting up with all the hours, all of our amazing employees who I think really feel like Life Plus is as much of a family as a place to work. And of course, I'd like to thank the governor and the Arkansas District Export Council for honoring us with this award. It's incredible. Never thought that we'd win such a thing, and we're just really excited about it. Thank you.
All right. Good job, Keith. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your help. Clint, thank you for helping as well. All right. Congratulations to all the winners. You all are truly amazing. I love these videos because we have the deck. We have our quarterly meetings scattered all throughout the state, and we usually pair that up with a tour of a manufacturing facility. So I feel like these videos kind of give you a glimpse into what we're fortunate enough to be able to see. And I mean, Arkansas makes so many cool things that people just have no idea about. So before I forget, I want to make one more announcement concerning the winners. If you haven't had the pleasure of working with Richard Dudahl in the U.S. Commercial Service yet, I want to change that. We want to help promote the website globalization review. That analyzes your website, and it makes it easier for international buyers to do business with your company, and it even drives more global traffic to your site. So with our partnership with Richard and the U.S. Commercial Service, the deck is going to sponsor the cost of your website globalization review. I can't wait to hear how the stories of the review and these awards and videos just really help your business grow. So congratulations. A few other last thank yous that I'd like to make to the executives and the content team at MHPSI. They worked with all of our award winners in recording the videos, and they all looked amazing. Hopefully these will become valuable marketing materials for your company, and thank you to the AEDC for supporting us on those. I'd also like to give a special thank you to the next generation of exporters and business leaders who are joining us today. We're especially grateful to the professors and the deans who make it possible for their students to be here. It means a lot to have you all involved. Representing Arkansas State University, Central Baptist College, and the University of Central Arkansas, deans, professors, students, would you all please stand? Before I wrap up, I want to recognize our executive committee. Our co-vice chairs, Brittany Scott of Smart Repro and Mike Schreckenhofer of Leather Brothers, and our legendary treasurer, Larry Walther, along with Bailey Hall. Thank you all for your leadership, your wisdom, and most importantly, your patience during our executive meetings. I know I'm a handful, and you've all handled it with grace and some confused looks every now and then. Now, if you've attended any of our webinars, our quarterly meetings, if you've received our newsletter, if you've enjoyed your lunch today, if you have a seat at the table today, there is one name that is responsible for it all. Ms. Heidi? Ms. Heidi is truly the glue that holds this entire operation together. Her dedication for the behind-the-scenes work have been just vital to our success. We wouldn't be the organization that we are today without you. So on behalf of the entire deck, thank you for everything you do to help us grow and improve. And of course, a huge shout out to our sponsors. You didn't just make today possible, you make everything possible. From the events like this to our ongoing outreach, your support fuels our mission. If you'll see on the back of your program, we're launching a 6-part series starting October 22nd called Grow Your Exports, because apparently we didn't have enough going on right now. But please share this. If you come across any company or any person that says something like, I saw this guy on PBS talking about exports and he made it sound super cool, that's who these classes are targeted for. So that's who we're trying to reach out to. I hope today has been both enjoyable and informative. Exporting doesn't have to be scary. It can be incredibly rewarding, and hopefully our award winners and the deck have inspired you to take that next step. Grow your international client base and maybe even hire a few more folks to keep up with the demand. As I've always said, beginning today, start local, but dream global. Thank you.